Representative Newell, House Bill 382. And last but not least on the dance card,
Yes.
at least from the substantial bills.
You can sit back there and make sure the baby's good. What's her name? Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members. Considering our time, I'll be brief. This is House Bill 382. It's nationally known as the creating a respectful and open workplace for natural hair. This legislation would expand the legal definition of race as a protected class to include traits which are associated with race, including hair textures and protective styles, and ban hair discrimination in the workplace, school, and public housing, essentially eradicating race discrimination based on hair. We are known for asking one another, why is this legislation needed? This legislation is needed because the topic of hair discrimination has always been important, and the topic became even more important when Andrew Johnson, a 16-year-old high school wrestler, was publicly humiliated by a referee when he was told that his hair covering did not conform to the rule book. So cut your dreadlocks or forfeit the game. This topic became important when Brittany Noble, a TV journalist who damaged her hair by flat ironing and hot combing every day, and then spent $700 to $800 on a hair weave, was told that her own hair appearance did not embrace the professionalism of a TV anchor. This legislation became important to me when I had a job interview and I had to determine whether or not I would go as myself, which you see today, or if I would sit and let a stylist put heat and chemicals in my hair to straighten it. I do not believe that a person should be discriminated against based on the way their hair grows naturally out of their scalp. These are traits which are not mutable. These are us. You cannot change the color of your skin, and it's not easy to change the texture of your hair. African Americans have had to change their hair from its natural state simply to fit in and make others comfortable. They've reported being sent home from work and school because of their hair. Like the young man in Port Sulphur, Louisiana, who went to Plaquemine High School, who was suspended from school because the administrators deemed that his locks violated the school grooming policy. Or when a young lady was fired from Hooters when she got highlights, just like the rest of her co-workers got highlights. She was African American and her co-workers were white. Moreover, this legislation is needed because Title VII only protects against discrimination based on immutable characteristics, such as those characteristics that you were born with, such as your skin, like I mentioned before, and things that you cannot change or which are difficult to change. Discrimination based on black hair texture is prohibited by Title VII, while the adverse action on the basis of your black hairstyles are not. Afros are protected, but the hairstyles which flow from Afro hair textures, such as locks, braids, twists, and curls, are not protected. Employers right now are free to discriminate against people
And
from
Representative
mutable
Newell,
cultural.
I apologize for interrupting, but I just want to remind you on your 3-minute rule.
That's okay.
You got a little bit past it, so, and I know we've got a lot of people that want to testify.
And I'll start. Let me just say one more thing.
Sure.
There are 7 other states which have banned hair discrimination. Most recently, Colorado joined New York, California, Washington, Virginia, Maryland, and New Jersey. We have Senator Cory Booker and our former Congressman Cedric Richmond. Both have introduced this legislation to pave the way for federal protections. And if we want to start, I have a young lady here that would like to tell you all her experience.
Okay, and Representative Carter, Robbie Carter, you have a question?
It's the appropriate time I like to move favorable.
Thank you, Representative.
Thank you. All right. Good afternoon. Just introduce yourselves.
My name is Carly, and I go to Noble Minds, and I can't imagine anyone saying that I can't wear my hair the way I want to wear my hair.
Okay.
And one time, my principal, I wanted to wear my hair in braids, and I had to ask my principal, and she said I can wear my hair any kind of way I want to because that is not stopping me from learning. And
you're doing so good in school, and what happened in school? You skipped.
And I'm doing so good at school that I have skipped kindergarten, and
What grade are you in now?
I am in 2nd grade. In fact, I am killing it. And
Fantastic. Well, you're doing better than me. I was a kindergarten dropout. So, thank you for being here. Thank you. And, ma'am, introduce yourself.
I'm Dominique Johnson, the founder of Daughters Beyond Incarceration. We work with girls who are struggling with parental incarceration.
Okay. Do you have anything else to add? And this is your brilliant child?
This is my daughter. Carly is a 2nd grade student at Noble Minds Institute, and she loves braids. And we just can't imagine not being able to go to school with pink braids or blue braids or braids to make you express how you're feeling during the day. And there's no way that a person should be discriminated against because of how they choose to wear their hair, especially because their hairstyle does not define or determine your intellect.
Okay. Thank you. All right. So we got some others that want to testify. So if we can
Thank you.
clear.
You did excellent. Thank you so much for helping me today.
All right. Let's hear from Lacey Jackson and Cheyenne Williams.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair. I'm sorry. I don't mean to stop these ladies, but can Miss Nia Weeks come up? She's been helping me for the past couple of months.
Okay, so let's go ahead and take up Ms. Nia Weeks, and I think we also have a Cameron Weeks. All right, so y'all may be related.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Just be
all right. If you want to testify, why don't you come on up? All right.
I am actually, I would love to speak, and my testimony is coming up, but I also am here with my daughter, and she has begged to speak, and so I'm going to let her speak before me, if
Okay.
that's okay with the committee.
Sure, and Representative Newell, if you wouldn't mind vacating the chair so the
I'm
witnesses
sorry.
can testify.
I'm just so
And just
intrigued by
remember-
everybody coming up here today.
We're under a 3-minute rule, and I don't mean to be harsh and limit testimony, but we've got to be on the floor. So
Thank you.
all right, just introduce yourself, state your name, and give us some testimony.
My name's Cameron, and
Cameron Weeks.
Cameron Weeks,
Okay.
and I go to lycée. I'm student council. I'm in student council. I speak French, and I do pretty well in school. But people don't see that. They don't see that. They see me, and sometimes I get comments on how I look. And the comments are like, your hair looks crazy sometimes, or you should try a different hairstyle, and that can really get to you, especially when you think that you're smart and people don't see you as smart. I think that sometimes it can get to me, like at night, sometimes I try to figure out a way to make my hair look as normal as possible when my hair is already normal, you know? I can't change the way that my hair looks, but people expect you to change it. People expect you to get a perm. People expect you to have straight hair. And I don't think that's fair. I think that my hair doesn't stop you from learning. My hair doesn't stop you from doing whatever you want to do. It's just something that's on my head, something that's on my scalp that I like and I love, and I appreciate that my mama gave it to me, you know? And I'm really proud of my hair, and that's why I'm here today. So,
All right. Thank you for being here.
Tammy.
All right. Yeah, Representative Carter would like to ask you a question.
I think you did real good testifying today. And when people don't like the way your hair is and they think you ain't smart because of your hair, just remember, old country representative who people have said talks funny all his life. And you can still do okay talking with a little funny accent.
Thank you,
Thank
Tammy
you.
Cakes.
All
Good
right.
afternoon. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Nia Weeks. I am the founder and executive director of an organization here in Louisiana called Citizenship United that's putting together a collective base of Black women across the state that come here and try to make sure that we're all seen and heard equally. We all love to sing India Arie's I Am Not My Hair. And it holds true. We are not just our hair, but the reality is Black women's hair tells a story. It is interconnected to who we are and what we've been through. And it's no secret that in the United States, we've struggled with conversations and concepts and interactions when it comes to race. And included in that complex is Black hair discrimination. Despite the sense of pride that Black women have developed over recent years, it has not prevented discrimination that we face at work, at school, and many other public places because of our hair. The fact that natural Black hair and protective styles are not regarded as professional perpetuates stereotypes shaped by conscious and unconscious biases, that Black hair is unkept. It forces Black women to blend in with Eurocentric standards and appearances and making sure that our curly hair is straight so that we can earn a living. Unfortunately, Black women are 1.5 times more likely to be sent home from the workplace because of hair. 80% more likely to change their hair from its natural state to fit into workplace environments. So how does that impact us here, and why is this bill so important? You see, as amazing as the people, the culture, the food, the music are here in Louisiana, women here do face systemic barriers, with Black women bearing the brunt of that. Just to give some statistics, Black women here in Louisiana, we have the highest maternal mortality rate in the country. We have the highest wage gap in the country, with Black women making 47 cents to every dollar earned by our white male counterparts. And 67% of Black households are led by women, making that 47 cents. That's at 47 cents. And so the reality of us having to change our hair, we will do it. We'll do it every time because it means that we're protecting and providing for our families. Today, I'm joined by Black women and girls who represent many other Black women and girls who this morning woke up and instead of studying and preparing for their vocabulary test, instead of Black women sitting there calling their client that one last time preparing for court, were sitting there making the arduous and emotional decision of how to wear their hair so they wouldn't be kicked out of school, so they wouldn't lose their job. As a parent, when our children enter this world, we all think that they are perfect. Mine is very perfect. We love every strand on their head, and we hope the whole world values them. And when our daughters emerge ready for prom with that perfect hairstyle, we're proud that we put this person into this world. Today, I'm joined by my daughter and my father, who's here. I'm joined by law clerks. I'm joined by women, and I can tell you that there are vast. I haven't met a Black woman in this state that doesn't believe in this, because we all have a hair story. We all have a moment when we were told that we were less than or could not achieve something simply because of a hairstyle choice. I was told that when I was in law school. I was told to always be over-prepared and to never let my curls show. I'm trying to come here to tell my daughter something different, and I hope you all do the same. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Representative Marino.
I have an amendment when we get back to the author, or in the House.
Okay, let's hear some testimony. So
Thank you so much.
We have Lacey Jackson and Cheyenne Williams. Yeah. No. Yeah, we should. But we should be able to finish up by 20 after 3. All right. Good afternoon. Just introduce yourself and who you're with, and let's go ahead and keep your remarks at 3 minutes or less, please.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lacey Jackson. I am a 19-year-old legal communications student at Howard University and an intern at Daughters Beyond Incarceration. I am here in support of House Bill 382. For 18 years of my life, I have had to relax my hair because my natural hair has been deemed unprofessional and undesirable because I aspire to sit in seats like many of you. This is very disheartening. This is 2021. The continuation of discrimination against hair has been going on for far too long. I attended a high school where the rules were directed to discriminate against black students. Rules included words such as no strings in your hair. This targets black students because many of us wear braids and styles like that include metallic strings and beads that enhance the beauty of the hair that we have. This should not be allowed to go on. Students have been pulled out of classes and not been allowed to return to school until they fix their hair. Cutting out hairstyles such as hers that cost lots of money in order to be able to get an education. Why is hair allowed to be more important than getting an education? The hair on your head does not determine the level of intelligence you have or your ability to do a job. To make this personal and understandable for everyone in this room, imagine if you were not able to have a job because your hair turns gray. Everyone in here, at some point, your hair may turn gray because that's what happens as you age. So if you decided to make everyone dye their hair because it turned gray, would that be fair? This is what we are doing when we discriminate against natural hair. Black women have been scrutinized about their hair in the state of Louisiana since 1786. It is time to stop the ability to discriminate against natural hair. Natural hair is beautiful and versatile. Not passing the bill is allowing the involvement of the 1786 Teigen Law. The Teigen Law, for those unaware, is the law that required African American women to wear a scarf to make others around them feel comfortable because African American women were able to adorn their hair with jewels and beads to perpetuate wealth and beauty. Why should I not be allowed to wear the hair that grows out of my scalp? Why should I hide a part of my identity to make others comfortable? Natural hair is beautiful and should be accepted by all. So please don't just stop by passing language. We need this bill to pass so that we can secure the path to end discrimination at all levels. If you can see the wrong in segregation, please understand the discrimination of natural hair is no different. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Good afternoon. Just state your name and who you're with.
Hello. My name is Cheyenne Williams, and I am with this group right here.
Daughters Beyond Incarceration.
Yes. And I am here in support of the bill because I am a Black woman, and I have been raised to believe that my hair is beautiful and to have confidence in myself when my hair is done and when I get freshly new twists or braids or wear my afro. And no one here except Black women knows how much maintenance it takes to do a perfectly done twist out and the process in doing all that, and to go into a workplace and have to fear being rejected or discriminated against because of the way your hair texture is, or because it's too big, or because someone can't see behind you, it's not our fault. Simply move. It's demeaning to us, and it's something that we shouldn't have to go through. It's something that shouldn't be even an argument. I believe that the school systems, workplaces, they should have implicit bias trainings. People should know how to approach a person with my type of hair. They should know words to use and words not to use. They shouldn't even have an opinion on the way I carry my hair or anything like that. And I feel like this bill should be passed, and I feel that action should be taking place. I believe that the school boards should maintain a training to teach professors and teachers how to appropriately speak to their students that have hair like this, and also just step into their shoes and learn more about what we go through on a daily basis. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up, we're going to hear from Jay Shy and Julie Schwan Harris.
I'm going to waive my time. I know you're in a hurry.
Okay,
I just
you
wanted
are.
to show my support, Julie Schwam
Oh,
Harris.
okay.
I
All
am
right.
supportive.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Shy. And how about Carly Dauphine?
Carly went already.
Okay. So there we go. So Arzola Cleves, or Cleves. All right, you can go ahead, Ms. Shy.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jay Shy. I'm a college student at Loyola University, a sociology major, legal studies minor. I definitely relate to a lot of the testimony here today because being black has a lot of shared experiences that growing up, loving my hair and trying to find myself, understanding that and a lot of things, you know, that it had perpetuated, you know, not being able to wear curly hair at school, not being able to wear braids, you know, because I wanted to get my education. I was always a kid that loved school, and knowing that, you know, maybe if I got the braids that day, and I probably wouldn't be able to stay in vocabulary class or learn about history, things of that nature. And even now, being a college student and looking at internships, going to an interview worried that they may not accept me as my full self and making decisions based just because I have curly hair. And that is something that I will never be able to change, and I would not want to put myself through that chemical process just to have straight hair. And I think a lot of people can relate to, you know, hair being a prideful thing. Everyone loves their hair. The decision that you make in the morning, when you look in the mirror, my apologies, and you decide to do a bun or curl your hair or just let it all out. It's all a decision that we make because that is what we want to represent ourselves as. It's a lot of pride that we take in. And I think that you're in a great position to make a statement that, you know, we talked a lot about freedom and choice and having that choice today, and you are in the power to allow everyone to have the choice to present themselves in the way that makes them feel most confident and not let these type of decisions segregate a group of people away from being their true selves. So I'll just pass it over.
All right, thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Arzola Cleves. I'm one of the staff attorneys at STAR, which stands for Sexual Trauma Awareness and Response. And y'all may ask why is STAR at the table? Because we recognize the intersections of sexual violence and racial injustice. And so that is why we are here today. I think what she said earlier was very well spoken about choice. Today we've heard a lot about choice. And so we are asking you to give us that choice for our hair. Some black women, they'll choose to get a relaxer, and that's fine. Some black women will not, and that's also fine. And so as so many people here today have come and asked you to respect choice, we're asking the exact same thing. Respect the choice to be able to do our hair the way that is natural for us and that also is professional. And I know a question that a lot of people have is it professional, is it not? And the question I have for you is, what's the standard of professionalism? Mm-hmm. Is it straight hair? Is it curly hair? Is it a particular hair color? What is the standard of professionalism, and who is making that choice? And I propose to you today that locks are professional, cornrows are professional, braids are professional. All of those are very professional ways to have your hair. And I also want to mention something that may not quite be seen is how many times we come and we have said natural hair. Because in many ways, the way my hair grows out of my scalp is not seen as natural. No one else has to come up and say, this is my natural hair. This is the way my hair grows out of my scalp. But I do, because it's not seen that way. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. I think that's all the people that wish to speak. Representative Newell and I think Representative Marino has an amendment that you'd like to offer. Have you spoken with Representative Newell about it? Okay.
Yes, we've spoken. Thank you.
Wait.
I was saying we've spoken,
Okay.
but thank you for asking.
All right. So Representative, we had a question from Representative Freeman.
Well, can we take after an amendment?
Okay. Representative Marino.
So yes, at the author's request, in the definition section, we're going to basically strike the word historically in each of the 4 locations where it currently exists because it's not necessary.
Thank you.
So it's just line 1, page 1, line 16, page 2, line 8, and 18, and 27. So that all the definitions are the same, and it's going to read shall include traits associated with. We're deleting the word historically.
All right. Any questions about that amendment that's been offered by Representative Marino? Are we clear on the amendment that would strike the word historically in those 4 instances? Any objections to that amendment? Seeing none, that amendment is adopted. So, Representative Freeman, you had a question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Representative Newell, I've listened to all your presentation and all the witnesses, and what I heard running through the theme of everyone is that this is an African American problem that y'all are trying to address. And while none of the hairstyles offended me, neither yours or anyone else in here, what I'm really concerned about is discrimination on race. And I've never been a proponent of that. I'm a vigorous opponent of discrimination based on race and all the other protected classes that we have in our law. And as I understand it, we already have a protected class of race being discriminated against. And I think our laws already take care of this problem. And if a African American woman is discriminated in any way based on whatever they're using to discriminate against her, she's still an African American woman being discriminated against. And I think she should have a cause of action and potentially should win. So I'm not really understanding the reason for this, because we already have that protected class. And again, I am a major proponent and would object to any discrimination based on race. And I think this is what it all boils down to, is whatever they're using out there in the real world to discriminate, it boils down to a discrimination based on race, and that's already protected, and we can deal with that in the courts. And again, I just think that any person in here who has been discriminated based on hair that is attached to an African American woman is being discriminated based on race, not their hair. And I think they should and should bring a cause of action for that, and that they should win if that's the case. So I'm just not sure I understand the reason for this bill, because it's already there.
Thank you, Representative Freeman, for expressing your concerns. However, it's not protected. There was recently a court case where the defendant did try to brought in action because she was discriminated against at work, and the judge determined that while an afro is protected, as I explained to you, the other different styles that flow from afros, those styles were not protected, and she did not prevail with that argument that you would think she could prevail with, because it's an African American woman and this is typically how she wears her hair. But she wasn't dismissed from her job because of her race. She was dismissed because her hair wasn't appropriate. It wasn't deemed professional. And so it wasn't the race that she was dismissed based upon. It was the hairstyle. Wow. And like I said, an afro is considered an immutable factor, of a trait of the race. The other styles that flow from it are not. So I would not have a cause of action if I was to get fired because I went to work with my hair like this. Because this style is not protected. Locks are not protected. Twist outs are not protected. Dreadlocks are not protected. Our good friend, Representative Carter, he would have been protected our first session back after COVID. But all of us, we would have not been protected.
Now, the bill also talks about facial characteristics in here as well. I mean, I don't not really understand because we never mentioned that in any of the testimony.
I'm sorry. Can I get a copy? Thank you, my friend. Yes. Mr.
Remind
Chair,
Representative Freeman, we're on a 3-minute rule.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. And
What
cut me
page
off
are you
whenever
on?
I hit there, please.
Sure.
Where are we, Rep. Freeman?
It's A2, paragraph A2.
Page 1.
And line 17, it says limited, including but not limited to skin color, facial characteristics, hair texture, hairstyles, protective hairstyles. So, I mean, we already know skin color is part of it and facial characteristics. I'm not really sure why that's in here because y'all been focusing on hair and hairstyles. Again, I know, I am completely against any type of discrimination based on race, creed, that religious affiliation. And I don't know. Sometimes I think we over legislate, and this may be a situation like that, but that's just my opinion.
All right.
Thank you.
Representative Johnson.
Okay. And I'm sorry, I was just confirming the facial characteristics are already in law. I'm sorry, Rep. Johnson, you were going with Mr. Chair?
Yes, ma'am. We actually have this policy in Rapides Parish Schools, so I'm not so much on that. I am on business a little bit concerned. I represent people who have factories and mechanical devices where they have to have people with shorter hair, and it affects everybody.
Mm-hmm.
How would this bill, if it were passed, be able to be used to soothe that employer? Because culturally, my hair is long, but it's a safety issue. It's not a.
Thank you for your concern. If the work policy is for safety precautions,
Yes, ma'am.
this would not affect
Does it say that in there? I looked and I
policies if
didn't-
it's work.
Because from a business standpoint, I am concerned for the safety of the person as well as the business owner. I didn't see that.
And this was one of the things that we did discuss in the recent hours. And so that's also an amendment that I would not be opposed to. Now, don't get amendment happy, please. But that's an amendment that I'm not opposed to because we did consider the safety concerns at some workplaces.
You
And that's
understand
fair.
why that would
I
be-
totally understand.
Right, thank you. That's a big concern.
All right. Thank you, Representative Johnson. Representative Marino.
Yeah, I
And-
think the safety aspect is not discrimination. I mean, my brother's a firefighter. They don't allow him to have a beard because it won't seal the mask, and it's so they can. I mean, I think the safety overrides discrimination if there's a reason like that.
And it doesn't this bill does not interfere with OSHA requirements.
No, that was my only.
All right. Thank you, Representative Marino. Representative Lawberdane.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Rep, you wouldn't have a problem if we put a safety aspect on that? You have a problem with the amendment if Mike does that, Representative Johnson?
I think Rep.
If it's
Johnson,
necessary.
If it's necessary. But
If it's necessary, okay, we can do that. It's already in law?
It's already in law,
Okay, we'll
so
do
this
it.
wouldn't affect it.
So all you're doing is making sure people who have different hairstyles are not discriminated. That's all you're doing.
That's all I
Just
like
like
to do.
my good friend Ms. Amadi, I like her hair, but the other young ladies, I like their hair too.
Right.
And so with women, thank you, welcome. with women, they have different hairstyles.
Men have them too.
Well,
Men have them too. Like our new communications employee, he has his wearing a different hairstyle. There was a gentleman here earlier that had got the little froze going. We have some people here that wear locks and braids. Representative Carter has a nice flashy style that's similar to the one you're rocking.
I know.
So,
I
he's
think
quite
we're all in
handsome,
agreement
too. He's
on
quite-
that. Representative Johnson, do you have another point to make?
She was trying to show me something, but I mean, if it's not in the bill, I'm concerned because it may not be the intent, but it creates, somebody gets fired for that reason, and they throw up the idea, well, you're just firing me because it's a discrimination because of how I wear my hair. You get what I'm talking about? Where I'm concerned?
For safety issues?
If it's a safety issue, like I said, for the businesses that I have in my district, I have some industry. I just don't want this to be
Again, like
If your bill gets out, would you commit to Representative Johnson in the committee that you'd make sure that you tighten this up?
for safety purposes,
Okay.
yes.
Yes. All right. Good. All right. And I'll point. We do not have any red cards on this
Thank the
bill.
Lord.
The board is clear. We go ahead.
This person would like to speak.
Okay. We have Terry Coleman would like to speak. That's a late card. I apologize, but if you would please keep it brief, and no one else is going to speak. I'm going to read the cards, and then we're going to go ahead and vote on this bill because we've got 3 other matters to take up. So,
I'm only speaking because I promised my granddaughter I would speak. So
okay, you don't have to use all 3 minutes.
I don't.
Okay. All right. Well, just identify yourself.
My name is Terry Coleman. I'm from New Orleans, and I work with TC International LLC. I listened to Representative Freeman's explanation about this being over legislation for this particular bill, but I want to express the gratitude that I have for my daughter and my granddaughter to speak today, because my granddaughter was reluctant to speak, and I explained to her that speaking, whether you don't do it just right or you don't do it perfectly, the experience of speaking is valuable. And I have 3 daughters, and I have 7 granddaughters. My 3 daughters have different texture of hair. You see my daughter here, who happens to be an attorney. I have another daughter that's an actress, and I have another daughter that's in the medical field. The one that's in the medical field just happened to be an adopted daughter from India. So her hair is straight. I can't imagine me telling my daughters that they could not be respected. I couldn't imagine telling them that they can't be successful, or pursuit of happiness is not in their reach, simply because they got the hair. Which one would I say you don't have the same opportunity as the other? You can imagine being in a situation where you worked hard to become a lawyer, and you get to the exam and they say, well, you quite don't have the kind of hair that could take the exam. That shouldn't have anything to do at all with your ability to be successful. And like I said, I wasn't going to speak. I was encouraged by my granddaughter, and I was encouraged by you guys. I just looked at you guys and I said, oh, this committee is it's all right. And I can't imagine y'all discriminating against my daughter or my granddaughter. So with that, I'll be short, and appreciate your time.
All right. Thank you. Okay. The board is clear. We have 17 green cards in support not wishing to speak. We also have 23 emails in support. If you'd like to briefly close on the bill, we've got a motion. I will assume your motion is to report with amendments. Representative Robbie Carter. Is that who you moved?
Yes.
All right.
Did.
Thank you.
And thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. And I would also like to thank all the ladies and gentlemen that came up today to testify. I appreciate it. Members, the history of our nation is riddled with social laws and societal norms that equated blackness and associated physical traits to a badge of inferiority, and sometimes subjecting individuals to separate and unequal treatment. Hairstyles, skin color, hair texture do not equate to being unprofessional, incapable, or uneducated. And Robbie, I concur. Our Southern drawl and our Cajun heritage does not equate to those three either. And I would really like your consideration and favorable passage of HB 382. Thank you,
Okay.
members.
Thank you, Representative Newell. All right, members, Representative Robbie Carter has moved to report House Bill 382 with amendments, to which Representative Freeman has objected. Ms. Sanders, would you please call the roll?
Representative Amity? No. Representative Robbie Carter? Yes. Yes. Representative Wilford Carter? Yes. Representative Eccles? Representative Emerson? Representative Freeman? No. Representative Hodges? No. Representative Jefferson? Yes. Representative Jenkins? Yes. Representative Johnson? Yes. Representative Landry? Representative Larvadane? Yes. Representative Marino? Yes. Representative Muscarello? No. Representative Nelson? No. Representative Presley? Representative Schlegel? No. Representative Seaball? No.
And I'll vote yes.
Representative Miller, yes. 8 yeas, 7 nays.
Okay, with that,
Thank you very
House
much,
Bill
Mr. Chair
382
and
is
members. I
reported.
appreciate your time and your consideration for this
House
bill.
Bill 382 is reported with amendments.